A few days back, I saw The Nun II, the latest film in the Conjuring Universe, so here are my thoughts on it. Hi, my name is Nathan, and I talk about a bunch of movies on this channel. If you're new here, down below in the comment section, share what you thought of The Nun II over on my channel. I have more content like this. Check those out once this video is over. Be sure to subscribe, and if you enjoy this video, click that like button, and I have more stuff on my channel. With that said, let's just get right into the review on this one. This is just going to be like a one-take video. And right off the bat, I do think this is a significantly more effective film than the original Nun. And that movie, kind of a bland, dull movie. And so I appreciated that this one was a more effective film with, I think, some more creative scares that comes with it, with the setting and with the characters, especially since it has a bunch of children in it. It can just be very harsh at times, where it's not afraid to kill off any children. And I did find this movie having a more interesting plot than the original Nun, which was just go to an abandoned church and investigate. This movie actually has a plot with events that happen, and this guy that's being possessed. And there's some nice scares here. There's one creative one in particular to me that was shown in the trailers, with this like newspaper stand, and then the pages keep flipping and she pops out of nowhere. Like, I thought that was sort of an effective scare in this movie. It's shown in the trailer. And so I thought this was I will say this is a significantly better film than the original Nun. Likewise, I did find it to be the most violent of the Conjuring movies, with these like gore effects that just weren't there in the previous movies. And so I thought that was a nice little thing that they put into this movie, so which it has like these gore effects and things like that. And I think that brings a nice little viciousness. Like there's a nice harsh little tone that comes with it, with the gory stuff, especially like children are killed off, like I mentioned earlier in this video, and they're killed off in a gory fashion. Therefore, it's given this nice. It's given it's more vicious than the previous Conjuring movies, because that wasn't there before. So that was an aspect of the film that I really appreciated. Other things here is that, like, it's fun to see Storm Reid in this movie as a supporting character, just to be there, and she does well in this movie. Like, and it's nice to see her like up and coming roles, as she was in what was it, Missing, earlier this year, at the beginning of the year, and she was also in like episode 7 of The Last of Us. And so it's fun to see her in this movie. And so this is it's not like the movie had these fantastic performances or anything, but it's nice to see up and comers like Storm Reid coming into the mix. So I just thought that was cool what they did with it. I just got a bunch of big issues here on the other hand. Like, so it's quite a forgettable movie. Like, so I saw this movie like a couple days ago, opening night. And as of right now, it is Sunday, and I don't really remember the specific plot points or anything like that, other than this like action finale thing they have in it, where they're battling in, and it's not really a scary sequence anymore. And so the movie's quite forgettable on a plot storytelling level. Other thing here is that it's still missing something that the other Conjuring movies had, and it's still dull and bland like the first Nun. It's less dull, but it's still missing something very clearly, because the Conjuring movies, they had strong lead characters that carried the film. This movie just doesn't have any of that, and so it's still missing quite a bit. Also, there were some just things to they're clearly padding out the runtime a little bit with some things, where one of the plot lines of this movie are elementary school bullies. Which, like, I don't go to a Conjuring movie to get elementary school bullies bullying people, but that's what this movie offers for some reason. And it doesn't particularly have any sort of victory going on, because it's not a mystery, but clearly it's treated like the characters are trying to figure out what's happening at this, like, orphanage, who's being possessed, and the audience already knows that. They already know who. If you've seen the first Nun, you already know who's possessed and what's happening with him. And so I didn't really find all that compelling throughout the film. And there is a credit scene in this movie. I guess it's supposed to tease the Conjuring last rites, but I found that credit scene with the Warrens a lot more interesting than the entire movie itself, which is not really a good sign, because when I find the credit sequence more interesting than the actual movie, that's not really a good sign. So, in general, movie that it's alright. I didn't have, like, it's significantly better than the first one. It's less bland than that movie. It has more scares, but then, like, another thing here. I forgot to mention. The movie doesn't really have a satisfying victory. It has this, like, yay, we did it kind of ending. But then we as the audience know what happens right after the movie if you've seen all the movies in the Conjuring franchise. Therefore, taking away any sort of victory that takes place, because we already know what happens right after, and this victory is not going to last very well. And so, that's one thing I forgot to mention. Anyway. In general, this movie is less dull and more scarier than the first Nun, while also not being as good as, like, the Conjuring movies, and so it's fine, but I would never just choose to rewatch this movie. Still dull, still pretty bland, so I'll give this movie a C+. And if you're a big fan of the Conjuring franchise, and if you really liked the first Nun, go ahead and watch this movie, and otherwise you're probably just going to see it as a generic horror movie. So that's what I thought of The Nun 2. Down below in the comment section, share what you thought of it, and click that like button, and be sure to subscribe, because that really helps a lot. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to the end, and I will see you in the next one.